What's up, guys? Welcome to the Bomb Squad, where we cover underappreciated and overrated movies. And today we kind of have neither. We have a movie that.
Yeah.
So here's how I thought of this movie. I started watching this movie. It was on my Tubi forever. Actually, it was on my Max, but after like a month, Max was like, "We don't want this anymore," and it was off. And so then I found it on Tubi, and I started watching it, and it was like, so this movie, it stars Jodie Foster, it stars Dennis Hopper. And I was like, oh, cool. And then, like, there was a cameo in this movie. And I was like, what the hell is that guy doing in this movie? And then there was another cameo. And then there was another cameo.
It was
and
a waterfall of cameos.
I was like, okay, what the hell's going on? So I was like, it's crazy that this movie has this good of a cast with what it's based about. And we'll talk about it in a second. But first, commercial time. We'll see you guys in a bit. Thank you so much for joining us on the Bomb Squad. Please give a like and subscribe if you haven't already. If you want to support our channel, other than that, the best way to do it right now is to watch our movies. We have the boxing documentary Humble Spirits. We have the Mexploitation thriller Borderland about missing cartel money. Those movies are both on Tubi. Also on Tubi and Screambox, you can watch the zombie drama, The Last Ones. And of course, The Empty Space, a cosmic horror about grief and loneliness. We hope you enjoy those movies. Tell us what you think if you do watch them. And of course, you can always follow my other YouTube page, which is my shorts page, to see some short films. Or just join us here. Thank you so much again, and please keep supporting the channel. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Bomb Squad. Thanks so much for that commercial that you just watched. Go like that stuff. So today we're covering 1990s Catchfire. Or it was also called Backtrack. Backtrack, yes.
If you find it on Tubi, it's called Backtrack.
If you find it on Tubi, it'll be called Backtrack, but then you click on the poster and it says
Catchfire.
Yeah, I think I saw it as Catchfire on Prime.
It's also like
Prime with ads.
It'll come up as either coming out in 1988, 1990, or 1992. So this movie's all over the place.
So I wonder if we all watch. Are there different cuts?
No, we all.
There is a different cut. Right. So the Backtrack one is actually the director's cut that he released. Okay, so while we get into this. This was made by Dennis Hopper. He didn't really like it. He actually got his name off of it. So if you watch Catchfire, it's actually directed by Alan Smithee, the famous fake director. But then he didn't like it. So then he disowned it and they released it and it was a huge bomb. 1990 is also when Silence of the Lambs came out. So great career choices by Jodie Foster. And then in like 10 years later, I think in 2000, they finally let him do a director's cut. We'll talk about it a little bit. They added 18 minutes, but in my opinion, they didn't really add anything super important. But yes, so Backtrack, Catchfire, Silence of the Hams is directed by Dennis Hopper. When has he ever made a bad movie? Written by Rachel Crosendant-Mann and Anna Louise Barbach. God damn!
Is this Google Translate?
Your names are harder to pronounce than this movie was to understand. It's okay. So this movie stars Dennis Hopper and Jodie Foster. We'll get to the cameos as we get to the cameos. And you guys,
who else? I think Fred Ward is on the actual cast.
Fred Ward and Dean Stockwell.
Yeah.
They play different versions of the same character. Every single character in this movie. And yes, so this movie is about. A woman witnesses a mob assassination, and then the mob chases her, and then they send like a specialized assassin to go get her.
Yeah.
And for my co-host Josh, do you see how I didn't ruin any twists in this opening? Yeah.
It could have been longer. You could have gone longer.
I could have gone for another 20 seconds.
You could have gone little bit.
The point is to not go longer. It's the opposite of what you're doing. But
we should say though. Just to kind of give you an idea before we even get into like what happens in this movie, despite this having the most straightforward plot of all time, this is the craziest movie we've probably ever covered on this podcast.
It's pretty wild.
It's bizarre.
Yeah. You can tell from the first image, really.
Yeah. So this movie starts off, and first of all, let me just say that Jodie Foster. This is like the best she's ever looked. She looks amazing. She's like blonde. She's like doing artsy stuff that doesn't make any sense because that's it's always funny how the 80s and early 90s like thought artists were, because they're always in a big warehouse just
I know.
painting stuff.
They
or
all
like,
have unlimited funds. They have
they have
so
like
much money.
TVs.
She's
They
opening.
have
I thought
TVs.
I was like, wait, does this not only because first it opens on her in a warehouse looking at like computer screens, and I was like, does this movie take place in the future? And then it like the
it seems kind of sci-fi.
the credits are all sci-fi too. They're all like digital, and then it's not. It's not that, but it really throws you off.
And we have our first cameo because this movie was produced by Dick Clark of Dick Clark's Rockin' New Year's Eve Jam or whatever it's called. And so yes,
teenager.
And also it starts off and she's driving and it's just like empty shots of LA. And I feel like movies don't do that anymore. It's like here's just empty driving shots of the city. Have fun.
Yeah, I thought honestly, I thought like I didn't know anything about this movie. Because Andrew, I would like to preface this by saying Andrew specifically told Josh and I to not look anything up about this movie. So I didn't look. I knew that it had Jodie Foster, and I was pretty sure it had Dennis Hopper because he's in the poster. But it kind of looks like it could be somebody else. And like as soon as it was like these like weird credits and then like these weird shots of LA, and then it was like the version I saw said directed by Dennis Hopper or a Dennis Hopper film. I was like, okay, like let's go. Like this kind of seems interesting. And so it's like because Dennis Hopper is like such a wild man that we'll get into it, but I feel like knowing he's the filmmaker, it's like it kind of makes this a fun ride. So keep that in mind.
Yeah, it's not. It's funny because the last movie I think where it's like, oh, they spend 10 minutes just cruising through LA with no dialogue is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which is a very different style of movie. This is not like a chill hangout movie at all, but you think it might be during the credits because it's such a like kind of ambient thing, which is cool.
Totally.
Yeah.
So immediately she blows her tire out. She's like, I got a hole in my tire, and so then she's just walking. And then we hear, and then
she gets aggressively hit on by like these like gangbangers in this like completely.
And their car is the exact car model for one of the first gangs you see in Grand Theft Auto 3.
Oh yeah, the Diablos.
Yeah,
yes,
it's the exact same car. Like they ripped that for that game straight out of this movie.
Yeah,
which is awesome.
Very, very caricaturish. But then she's like, "Oh, I better get off the freeway and go to this super isolated industrial area."
Well, to be fair, if you live in LA, every once in a while you just end up in an industrial area. That's nobody's fault.
You're just like, I might die.
Every once in a while, you're just like,
I might die here.
I'm now in the most ghetto, like empty part of the city, And so then she sees some mobster beating up another guy. And I would say like they're concealing his face so you don't know. And it would work really effectively if it wasn't the most distinguishable voice in the entire world. Because it's like, you're talking to me? It's immediately Joe Pesci. And I was like, who can that be? Who can that be?
And he's short too,
And so then he's like beating him up and then he kills him. And Jodie Foster, in her credit, she's just, for a long period of time, she's just watching it. She's like looking like, like hell? Not speeding, not running. She's just like, what the fuck?
Is this happen at refinement?
Yeah.
And like, okay, he hasn't killed him yet, but the fact that he's beating the shit out of some dude, probably like maybe a brisk walk. It doesn't have to be a full run.
Just don't be around.
But a brisk walk. Yes.
Yeah.
And so then Joe, and then, like it's so. Oh, and then this is our second cameo.
Oh,
Josh, why don't you tell us who this is?
Oh,
this took me a minute. Yeah, it's Tony Sirocco, who is Paulie Walnuts from The Sopranos.
Walnuts is in the house,
playing the exact same character but younger. Basically. So
playing the only character that Paulie Walnuts has ever played, which is Paulie Walnuts.
Hey,
just
it was a big
kind of dumb mobster. Yeah.
And the way they have his hair, like his hair is like the most slicked back it could possibly be. And like this whole movie, we'll get into it, is pretty weird. But like the way they make his like face shape, it looks like he's kind of like green screened in the entire movie. Even though he's not. But I love the way he looks in this film because he just looks like he's in a different dimension.
Well, we'll talk about it in a second. But, and also real fast, when Joe Pesci kills the dude, but it doesn't matter who the dude is, but he's like, yo, here, you motherfucker. He shoots him, and then he kisses him on the lips. And then Jodie Foster's running, and so there's an overpass, right? And she could easily run under that overpass and like get away and not be seen.
Yeah.
But no, instead she decides to run up the hill, try to climb a fence that she doesn't need to climb because there's
And she's good at it. She can climb the hell out of that fence.
And she does it in like 10 seconds, and then she just kind of sits there and they're like shooting at her. Like they don't. It's like, if you guys are this brazen, then why do you care if you saw? Like, you know how many more people have seen you shooting at the freeway in LA now?
Right.
Yeah.
And then she like
That's a lot of
stops
those
and gets a ride, and then that's it. Then she goes to the cops. But
and she gets a ride fast. That someone pulls over for her as soon as she raises her hand.
And then
fair, I guess.
It's also a funny thing because it cuts to Fred Ward, and he's the cop, and he's an FBI agent. He's like, we've been doing this. We've been chasing these guys for 10 years or 15 years. I gotta catch them. I'm obsessed. And then it zooms
he took a
out.
private jet.
It zooms out to Jodie Foster, and she's just sitting there. And this is where we get our third cameo, because her boyfriend is played by the always adorable Charlie Sheen.
Yeah.
In his most loving role. I feel like this is the most likable.
The most nice guy ever. Yeah.
It's like Ferris Bueller version of Charlie Sheen.
Yeah.
It's like, this is him grown up, and he's now coming to pick his girlfriend up from jail. Being in jail
still
himself.
a drug addict, but a nice drug addict.
And he goes up to her and he's like, hey babe, we should just get out of here. And then it cuts to her in the apartment, and I'm like, Fred Ward, what are you doing? Why did you let the witness?
Right, because the chief, it was like right before that happens, the chief is like, don't let her go unless you tell me she's going. And then Charlie Sheen's like, hey. And she's like, fuck this place.
And then it cuts to, and then Charlie Sheen's like, hey babe, you want anything? And she's like, no, I just want to sleep.
Yeah, he's like, you want a pizza? And he's like, I got you a pizza. She's like, I'm not hungry.
Well, no, because then it cuts to her waking up, and it's now 11 o'clock, and he's like, I got you pizza, and she's like, I don't want it. And he's
but it's like an uncooked frozen pizza that he brings up to the room to show her.
And then he's just eating it, and she's like, can you do me a favor? Can you throw that pizza out in the trash as soon as you're done?
And he's like, I just wanted a slice.
Yeah, he says, I just wanted a bite.
By the way, we should say,
go for it.
Oh no! If it sounds like we're describing this movie like we have coke brained, it's because this movie is the most coke. Like watching it feels like you're having a panic attack. The way it like jumps around, you're like, "What is this?" Like, every scene is like rushed in this like really like nervous way. You know, I mean, it's Dennis Hopper, so you know
it is. Well, on that exact note, it's like the first thing that we see is like kind of like her art warehouse weird stuff, and it's like you're disoriented, and then you go to this refinery, and it's like also kind of like otherworldly, and then you cut to the cops and it's morning, and then you cut to her apartment, but her apartment is so weird. Like her apartment is like an artist's apartment.
Yeah,
there's like weird rooms and weird angles, and it's really hard to tell like how everything fits together. So this movie, like from the beginning, is like really bringing this kind of like dreamlike kind of like feel to it, like from the get go. Like it's a very like we'll talk about this later on. It's very David Lynch kind of like I feel like it's supposed to feel art because it's about an artist and it's like very art house.
Yeah, and it's weird what it like decides to take time on and what it decides to rush through, because immediately after that, then we cut to Paulie Walnuts and he's watching the house. And then it cuts to John Turturro, who's playing Woody Allen for some reason.
Yeah,
he comes up and
Woody
he's
Allen
like,
mobster.
Can we say
I can't get this coffee right, or whatever he's talking
about. My car, I'm broken up about my car.
They are dressed like they're dressed to do a murder, and they're dressed in the most like cliche. Like they're both wearing black turtlenecks with black gloves.
It's like kind of like proto Pulp Fiction. Like it's like a little bit like. A bizarro version of like Jules and Vincent Vega, kind of.
I can kind of see
it.
I
don't think that Pulp Fiction invented two assassins. It's like standard.
I mean, just like silly kind of.
Oh, the way they talk.
Yeah.
But see, and maybe Tarantino's watching this movie. He's like, I can do this way better.
Because
there is that like, and I do wonder, is this the first time we really see like funny henchmen, like to this point where like they'll do funny stuff, but not like this one. Like there's no reason for him to bring up his little monologue.
Yeah,
It's-
yeah, like his
it's
like
just
car
there,
being fucked
yeah.
up or whatever. Yeah.
So maybe
exactly.
Tarantino, we caught you again, stealing. I
Sorry.
don't know why we've
There-
rented Tarantino like 8 times.
There
today.
is no way Tarantino has
Yeah.
not seen this movie several times. Like,
Yeah.
it's impossible. Like,
Yeah. So then they like walk in and then they like. Well, this is actually a cool scene because they're like she's getting water or something and then she hears them break in and she like hides in a crawl space and you see her
Yeah.
hiding while they're kind of like going through her apartment and like at no point does she even try to warn Charlie Sheen like even like a
No.
little bit. She's like,
Well,
nah,
she-
it's
she has
She's
fine.
this
holding her cat.
she has a
just
cat,
scared.
which you never see again after this scene, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Like,
I thought you
she's
see it
like-
again, but you don't.
she's holding it like she's like worried it'll make noise, you know, but she does not even think like, oh, by the way, my boyfriend's like in the other room,
Yeah.
like asleep, you know.
And then he shoots them, or they shoot him, and then like they're
Yeah, they
confused
murdered Charlie
that,
Sheen. They did murder the hell out of him.
They're
Like,
confused
huh?
that like someone else could be in the bed,
Yeah, they're like
And
the
then-
wrong house.
and then
Also-
they go wrong house. It's like you've never heard of relationships before.
Can-
Yeah.
That's your
Can we talk? I don't know if the version on
Single
Tubi,
resident home.
like the version on Tubi is called Backtrack, but according to sources I've seen, it's not the director's cut. Maybe it is. I don't know.
It's
But-
I don't know. We'll talk about it. At
We
the
get,
end.
but because
Okay.
the title says Backtrack, but it's also like not that long. You know, it's like still like under 90 minutes. But when they kill Charlie Sheen, there is this bizarre scene going on behind him in the apartment across the way of like
Yeah, there's another
A
couple that's like
a
behind.
fat
yeah.
man like eating
Oh,
soup
yeah.
or something while like a woman looks at him and it's not referenced and I'm like, is this a deleted scene? Why is this like happening? And it's
Yeah.
like it feels like a director's cut like type like cut. But again, not referenced, no one acknowledges it, so
Yeah.
I really don't know, you know.
I just
but
thought it was there
it's
to add to the weird vibe.
just
it's in
just
an-
the
it's in
kind
an
of
earlier scene,
Lynchian.
There's
yeah.
a couple
Yeah.
of scenes where they meet a trucker later who's played by another cameo, and it's just
Yeah.
like we know way too much about these people. We'll talk
Yeah.
about it when we get there.
Yeah,
But okay, so then it cuts to her back in the police station, and Fred Ward's like, "We could put you in witness protection agency," and
Yeah.
she's like, "Well, will you protect me?" And he's like, "Probably not." It's like, "What
We'll
are
see.
you're not selling this at
depends on
all?"
how long. Yeah.
So then she
Could be
goes to
8 months.
she goes to the bathroom,
She-
and she's like, "I need to get out of
She
here."
sees John Turturro waiting,
Yeah.
and he follows her to the bathroom. You know, because she's like,
Right.
"Oh, that's one of the guys who tried to kill me." Yeah.
Which how
and
did she even see him? Because she was hiding in the crawl space.
But
Doesn't
yeah,
matter.
was it Turturro?
Doesn't-
I thought it was like was he in a disguise? It was like a guy with like a gray mustache.
Or it might have been a different guy.
Oh, it
I
might
don't
have
know.
been. Maybe she was
Yeah.
just paranoid. But she goes.
It
to
might
the
have been one of the
bathroom,
guys from the Pesci scene, but the point is she recognizes
Yeah,
him as
yeah,
a monster. Yeah.
and so she does. She does like this is also a very '80s thing where she like goes to the bathroom and she's like, "I need to buy all your clothes so I won't be recognizable." And first
Yeah.
of all, it's like they don't really know you like that, so they don't really know what you normally wear. So in their mind, you could be wearing whatever outfit. Like they're
Yeah.
not looking for
Yeah, because
outfits.
she already has kind of sandy blonde hair, and she gets a
Yeah.
blonde wig. I'm like, you look pretty similar to
Yeah.
how you
Yeah.
looked
Well,
when you
and-
went in the bathroom.
And now
yeah.
this is and then the lady's like, "It'll be $50." It's like, damn girl. And
Have a
so
hard
then she
bargain.
leaves, and this is why, personally, this is why I think that this movie was made. I think this movie was made so that Dennis Hopper could put Jodie Foster in a series of different wigs that he found her attractive in.
Yeah.
because-
Absolutely, yes.
There's
yes.
like a huge portion of the film that really doesn't matter to the plot. It's
Nope.
just Jodie Foster going from place to place, and she changes her wig and her outfit
Yeah.
Right.
every single time. And as we keep in mind, we
And
haven't really
the-
gotten into what this movie is about yet, because
Right,
we're still
right.
on the run part.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, so she decides not to go for Witsec. She decides to
for-
tell the police to shove it,
Yeah,
and she's gonna head down. Well, I guess
she
east from
she
California.
withdraws all of her money from the bank.
yeah.
And she's
Yes,
it kind of
15
it,
grand, 15
it,
grand.
it
Also,
weirdly quickly cuts. So go ahead.
There's a cameo here. I don't know if you guys noticed, but does anyone know who the blank teller was that she was talking to?
Oh, no, I must have missed that one.
No.
I don't know his name, but he does play Agent Johnson in Die Hard. He's one of the FBI agents. Go check it out.
Oh, hell
Um,
yeah!
But
One
yeah,
of the
she's
FBI
like,
guys.
yeah, she's the one who's
Okay.
like Johnson and Johnson, no relation.
Yeah, yeah.
He has a cool voice. That's how I recognized him. But yeah, so then she's like, oh, and then they hire Dennis Hopper. So Dennis Hopper,
the mob hires him. Yeah,
and let me like you'll see the poster where he's in the picture, but Dennis Hopper is playing some kind of mobster vampire.
Yeah, he's a real thinker. He's a real cerebral guy.
He's
crazy.
like
he's a vampire detective.
He's always wearing sunglasses, and he has like a hat and a scarf, despite
It's like
the
a
fact that he's in
fedora.
100-degree weather.
And his apartment is different Hieronymus Bosch frescoes on every single wall. Like
he has a room divider that's
this is the most insane
heaven and hell painting
original character do not steal ever.
It's well, and once we get to the plot, which we still haven't gotten to, we'll explain why that's an even more insane costume for him. And so then he's like kind of and by the way, the first time we see him, he's dressed like a mobster vampire, and the music is like dun dun dun, like it's the most frightening music in the movie. Which again, we haven't gotten to it. But once you understand what his role is in the film, you're gonna be like, but why did they present him that way this entire time? And so then he's going around to her apartment. He breaks into her apartment and he finds sexy pictures of her. And let me
with
just
her passport. She keeps them in her passport.
Yeah. What? Let me just say, from the very beginning to the scene where she's like reacting to her boyfriend's death to the sexy pictures. Jodie Foster, you were doing way too much for this movie. Like you're overachieving, and you didn't have to do it because nobody else is really even trying that hard. But it's like because I looked at those pictures, I was like, what's the point of this other than
it never comes. Well, I won't spoil anything.
Well, no, I mean
it's just
it does come up in a way, but yeah, no, essentially it's. He's going through her apartment. He goes to her workplace, which it turns out she works at a gallery, but the gallery is all electronic billboards that say, like, war is wrong, try peace.
You know those belts that people wear at raves that have, like, sexy times ahead or sexy and I know it? That's her whole career. And so, and then Dennis Hopper buys one for some reason.
And it's like it's something on the nose that's like, why kill when you could try peace? So it's like some bullshit like that.
And then the next scene is very funny because Joe Pesci just has it in his office. It's like, did Dennis Hopper give it to him as a gift?
There. And also, this is like, it's weird how little the mob factors into this movie, but Dennis Hopper
they're a small-time operation.
Dennis Hopper meets with the mob, which is headed by Vincent Price, by the way, which is crazy. And one of his last roles.
He's credited at the beginning. He's in this scroll.
He's very old. He does not stand up at any point. It's definitely like he's very old in this movie.
He seems like he was just on the lot, and they were just like, "Do you
I
want
know
to be in
a lot of the actors in this movie seem like
I kind of feel like Dennis Hopper was like, "Who should we get to play the mob boss?" And then he turned around. And Vincent Price was just standing there like, you ran.
Eating a hot dog.
Why would he be eating a hot dog?
They have a.
It's not like a Vincent Price thing.
I was over at Pink's.
He's doing it on set, the catering.
That's not a... They're like, hey guys, what's for lunch today? Hot dogs
telling
again,
me
Dennis.
In the 1970s, they didn't have hot dogs as part of the crew lunch. Again,
sir. No wonder everyone... Jodie Foster walks into her trailer, just wigs, endless wigs. But, by the way, Jodie Foster is still on her wigs.
Yeah.
Well, this is all.
Okay, where is she now? She's on the road now.
She hasn't even gotten to Santa Fe yet. She's in her red.
She's not in the state. She's in a second location that I don't even know if they ever tell you where she is. But
I think it's New Orleans.
Quickly, he has a meeting with the mob, and Joe Pesci sits down in this chair. That is the most insane chair I've ever seen. That has wings that are a foot taller than him. It's like a Dracula chair. And again, it's only in this one scene where he's just like, "Hey, Dennis Hopper, you need to find this woman." It's like, why did you choose this chair for this scene?
That I do feel. I feel like that's just Dennis Hopper's chair.
This movie is Dennis Hopper. Yeah.
And then it cuts to my favorite scene because Jodie Foster's essentially disappeared. They can't find her. That's what that meeting's about.
Yeah,
and he also tells John Turturro, he's like, "Hey, I'll kill you, buddy." That's what Dennis Hopper says. Foreshadowing. And then
spoilers. Oh my god.
And then this cuts to my favorite scene because here's something else you don't know about Dennis Hopper. in addition to being a mobster vampire, he also really loves jazz and playing the sax.
He
Oh,
loves the
yes.
saxophone.
It cuts to him
Oh
playing the
my
sax,
God.
and he's like, "Where's this woman?
just-
I love her."
He has
And
like
then
what does he have, like a wife beater on? And he's just like walking. He's pacing in front of his Hieronymus
He's
box,
walking
just
through
like,
his apartment with his fedora on, by the way.
yes, dude.
Playing,
Oh, I love that scene so much.
playing saxophone in front of his Hieronymus Bosch wall. That's just the Garden of Good and Evil behind him.
And
Yeah.
he's just thinking about the case, man. He's like,
And
where
then
did she
he's so
go?
mad that he's like, break the window. He's like, I'm gonna break this window. I'm gonna break this sax with my window. And
Yeah,
then we
dude.
watch for about a minute straight as Dennis Hopper doesn't break the
It
saxophone or the window.
But he keeps
And he
trying.
keeps trying. Yeah, he's like, it's like that scene from Detroiters when they're throwing stuff at the window and it won't break.
Oh,
And let me tell you guys, when you're making a very serious crime movie, if you can compare it to Detroiters, you're probably
Winning.
not.
This
You're
felt
winning.
like that
Oh,
felt
okay.
like Dennis Hopper like ad-libbing in the scene to be like, wouldn't it be crazy if I broke the window with the sax?
I think
But it
that's
wouldn't
what it
do
was.
it. But he's like, no, it's still emotional enough. Leave
yeah,
it
Because-
in.
keep it in. Keep it in.
When
Yeah.
Dennis Hopper like throws the sax at the window the first time, the look on his face is the look on anyone who's ever tried to break glass and realizes how hard glass is to break.
Right. Yeah.
Because
yeah,
he's
yeah.
almost like, what the like, it's
I
like
didn't
he's
try
never
this at all
been in a
yet.
he's never been in a not movie where it doesn't have breakaway glass.
Right, the
Like,
fake
crystallized
glass like in
sugar.
Die Hard. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so then, this is another cameo for William's hometown, kind of, because then Jodie Foster finds herself in. Oh no, she gets a job first.
She gets a
And
job
this
in
is-
some random city as an
Yeah.
ad agent
This is-
person.
This is my favorite
Yeah.
part because then everyone finds out where she is, and how do they find out? Because she uses words she's like a catchphrase she's already used before, and a marketing girl getting caught, or marketing person in any way getting caught because they're derivative and they use the same thing over and over. That's the most realistic thing I've ever heard
And
in my
yeah.
life.
we should say too, because it
It's
basically
not bad.
is.
It's not market trends at all.
It's
just
what
your personality.
what I think that the timeline is very vague, but it seems like it's months
Yeah.
later. But she's worked herself up from like intern to ad agent within a few months because Dennis Hopper
Well,
is
she's
just
brilliant.
he's just
really
reading
good at it.
he's just reading every magazine he can find, hoping he'll
Well, dude, yeah,
stumble
his
onto
detective
one
has,
of her
like,
ads.
cards on the window
Which
and
is
everything.
insane. Like, that's
Yeah.
a crazy way to catch someone. But it works. For
and
him
so-
and the cops. They both
Yes,
find her at
yeah.
the same time.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
chase. There's a chase scene, and then she runs away again. Oh, and then Dennis Hopper catches her in a
In a miniature
scene.
golf course.
Yes, and he's got her, and he's got
Yes.
her, and then she kicks him in the balls because again, 80s. Every 80s movie had to have someone get kicked in the balls
Yeah.
at least
yeah.
once.
We should
Well,
say...
so we gotta say, oh, what you got?
Yeah, you first.
Okay, so this whole time that Dennis Hopper is investigating her, he's like reading these magazines about conceptual art, and
Right.
he's like really trying to understand who Jodie Foster's character, Anne, I believe is her name, and he's like reading these like interviews by her and like all these works by her. He's like studying them, and he's like really, really diving into her psyche and like understanding everything about her. And he doesn't know why. He doesn't understand why he's doing
Right.
this.
Yeah.
But he can't stop. He can't stop learning about Jodie Foster's character. And
He's,
then we cut
yeah.
to the miniature golf course.
Yes, and then he catches
And
her.
he catches
Okay.
her inside of a church where the like golf, I don't know what you'd call it, difficulty, is you have to hit a golf ball through 2 wedding rings to get into the church.
Oh.
Yeah,
That's called foreshadowing
it is.
Oh,
because
More
he catches
foreshadowing.
her inside the church.
Oh, but also before that is when. Oh no, is that in? No, that's in New Mexico. We'll get there. We'll get
Yeah.
there, guys.
So where's
then
she now?
runs
Where's
away.
she with the golf course?
It doesn't.
leaves-
It doesn't say what city this is. It's just
Yeah.
a random city
Okay.
where the cops found her and he found her, but she gets away and,
And
he
she
gets
finds
away
herself. She finds herself in Taos, New Mexico.
in New
Yes,
Mexico.
yes,
And
yes.
this is where another cameo because she writes like, or she makes a tape. She's gonna send it off, and she runs to a random truck stop person and the person happens to be Catherine Keener. What the hell?
Yeah,
Are you
super
Trucker.
young Catherine
We
Keener.
made good time. I almost didn't recognize her. I was like, oh my god.
I know. It wasn't until I heard her voice that I was like, "Is that Catherine Keener? The fuck?"
And they're talking about Georgia O'Keeffe, and it's like
Yeah.
New Mexico's own baby. What's
Yeah.
up
I,
with those?
you
big
know what
flowers?
I love too. Before she sends this letter, she's like compiling it. She's like, "Hey, don't look for me because I'm on the run from the mob. By the way, I'm actually staying with an old art teacher." It's like, why would you mention that when
Yeah.
you're on the run?
And then she tells Catherine Keener, she's like, "Can you send this away? And like when you get to Canada, send it out." And
Mail it from Canada. Yeah.
She's trying to get the heat off of her. So then Catherine Keener goes into the thing and she tells her boyfriend like, "Hey, this lady wanted me to send this from Canada," and he's like, "With American stamps, you dumb idiot."
Yeah.
And then he's like,
it's abusive.
God. He's like, "God, you're such a dumb idiot." And then he's like, "I'm still gonna send it.
I'm
Yeah.
still
I'm
a
just
nice
not gonna
enough
send
guy.
it from the place she wants me to send it because I'm a man."
Yeah, we're
I
gonna.
And so
also,
she sends it from, and then there's a very funny part where they find out that she's in Taos, and it cuts to Joe Pesci and Dennis Hopper meeting, and then they're like, Dennis Hopper's like, "She's in Taos, New Mexico," and Joe Pesci's like, "How do you know that? You tracked her down?" And then they go, "There's an NM, boss." NM stands for New Mexico.
There's
Like,
we should say like
it's informative. Like, we're learning how stamps work, guys, and you guys are being very difficult.
Honestly, like
as Dennis Hopper is investigating this New Mexico lead, he's like, "I'm gonna go to like one of her artist sources again to be like, hey, I really want to buy more art from this person who does crazy electronic billboards that say war is wrong." And the
and
guy,
instead of saying why, he actually answers her question.
the guy doing art is like, "Oh, by the way, I'm Bob Dylan in the worst cameo in this movie."
I used to do concrete.
So weird. Not a scene that matters. Doesn't need to be there.
Oh,
I mean, he's essentially the same character he plays in Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid.
yeah.
He's just like Bob Dylan's always just like weird, and I got an answer, but I don't know. It's life.
Yeah.
What's going? I'm almost Christopher Walken.
Because Bob Dylan's the only one where you could ask him a question, he'd be like, "I don't know. Maybe if we walked on the moon, we'd find an answer." And like that, he's the only one where like, okay, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, it's like I'd go with you if you wanted.
Yeah. And so then, and then there's a funny part where they're like, he's in Taos. Oh, and then there's another scene where Dennis Hopper's gone to New Mexico. And then Joe Pesci and all them are like, "Where's Dennis Hopper?" And they're like, "He's in New Mexico." He's like, "Who told him to go over there?" And they're like, "Well, that's where the girl is." And he's like, I still don't like it. So then John Turturro's like, "Hey, boss, can I go to New Mexico and help him?" And then Joe Pesci's like, "You're calling me the boss? This whole place is bugged. What are you fucking doing?" It's like, I think they know you're the boss, dude. I think. Like,
you know what I love?
Like they bugged your house.
There are several scenes that take place in this mansion after this that imply that Joe Pesci immediately forgot it was bugged, because later he's on the phone like, "Why didn't you kill her?"
Yeah.
And then it cuts to the FBI agent, and they're like, "Oh my god, we just heard that he's the boss. We didn't know that for some reason." And then later they're like, "Where's Milo?" They eventually send John Turturro to go find Milo and bring him back and kill the girl. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know if they care about it anymore.
That's Dennis Hopper.
Yes, right. And then the cops or the FBI agents go, "Milo? Who's Milo?" And it's like they've literally been talking about Milo this entire time. Like every conversation that they've had in that bugged house has been about Milo. How are you barely asking who Milo is? You should have known that. And also, it's like, I don't know, man. He's probably the vampire they hang out with someone. He looks like he'd be named Milo.
You know what's weird too? Because when John Turturro goes, I think this is when he goes to New Mexico. He's like being harangued, where they're like, "Look at how you're dressed. You stand out so much in New Mexico." And he's wearing a normal polo.
And
they're both I don't understand.
Yeah, they're both wearing very he sticks out, but also Dennis Hopper looks like a vampire. He just put on a cowboy hat.
Nosferatu in a hat. Yeah.
So then they have this conversation, and he kills them.
Yeah,
And-
they're like
and
hanging
then-
out like in a weird house, watching her from somewhere.
Yeah, John Turturro's
And
like,
here's-
They're
hey,
in
you're
a
like
hut.
in love with her, right? And then Dennis
some
Hopper
kind of
just kills
pervert?
him.
Here's the
Yeah.
funny part though, because it cuts to like Dennis Hopper's watching her, and this is when John Turturro comes up. But before he does that, it cuts to Jodie Foster, and she's like changing, and we're inside the room with her, and she's changing, and like she puts on her because she's like completely nude. She changes, and then
Yeah.
it cuts to the opposite side of the window. And if you understand where she is at that point when you see her, you now understand that she was just fully changing butt naked in front of that window for everyone
Yeah.
in this town square to
Just
watch.
hanging out.
Like, no reason why she's doing that. Like, I don't even think they realize, like, wait, if she was there in this window, that means she's just been flashing every single person in the
Right.
square.
Also,
Um,
to give you an idea of how troubled this production was, which you can kind of tell when you watch it, but at one point during this scene where she takes a shower, which
Right.
is a really, really long scene of her just in the shower.
Yeah, my
takes a while,
hypothesis
yeah.
is continuing to get evidence.
Apparently, at one
Yeah.
point, Jodie Foster on set just was like, "Cut! Like, we don't need any more footage of me in the shower." And then her and Dennis
Whoa.
Hopper got into like a screaming argument over it. So maybe
Well,
not the best set, you know, to be on.
Well, I don't think anyone is proclaiming that Dennis Hopper is a great director.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
but
mean, he's
let's just say
it's not
his intentions seemed evident in a lot of this movie.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so then, after he killed John Turturro, and then it cuts to some cops, and they're like, "We've never seen murders like this ever in our
Yeah.
whole town." And it's like, why are we getting this information? Like, we do not. This
Yeah, I
matters so
also-
little.
Not only did the cops
Yeah,
not matter, I don't even think the FBI shows
No,
up
Fred
again
Ward does
after
not
this
matter at all.
scene.
They
like
only
it
show
is
up, like,
not
3
part-
times. Yeah.
Yeah.
They are not
It's a
part of the
non-issue.
plot. They might as well not be in the movie for how little they like impact what happens. You know.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah. And so then Dennis Hopper goes and kidnaps her, and this is what the movie is about. Dennis Hopper has fallen in
35
love.
minutes in, by the way.
Has fallen in love with
The
Jodie
midpoint.
Foster, and so he's like, okay, I'm gonna kidnap you, and he's like, I can either kill you right now, or you can come with me and be my.
And I
Slave.
own your life, is what
And
he
she's
says.
like-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess I'll do that one. That sounds bad, but whatever. And so then like very quickly, she just falls in love back with him. And let
I
me.
know.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go for it. Go.
Oh,
Well, I
let
was
me
rewatching
remind
this-
you.
No, remind us.
He looks like a vampire. Like, even if he didn't look like a vampire, he looks creepy and old as hell compared to
Yes.
Jodie Foster.
Yeah, this is
Yes.
like
Yes.
because we actually Robert Redford just passed away this week. Great actor, rest in peace. Amazing filmography. There's a Robert Redford movie called 3 Days of the Condor, which I assume you both have seen. You're both cinephiles.
Yeah, it's like the
Um,
yeah. City Pop.
Where at one point he's a spy on the run and he holds a woman hostage with a gun,
Yeah.
and she ends up falling in love with him. But I'm like, well, yeah, but he looks like Robert Redford. You know, it's like
Right.
like you believe
Yeah.
it. You know,
Yeah.
in that movie, in this one, she falls in love with him within about 2 days. And he looks like Nosferatu, and he's talking
Yeah.
super weird. We have not mentioned that he talks
Yeah.
so weird. This whole movie.
Italian New York
It's-
accent.
and
He's
it's
like,
sometimes
hey, what
Italian,
are you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then like the first thing they do once they're in love or once they're on the run is also, let me just reiterate that if you're making your movie and you're like, hey, you know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of the story Lolita. You've probably made a couple of wrong turns.
Lolita, but the guy was in the right according to the director.
Yeah. But they go to, because now they're in Santa Fe and they're in a cabin, but they go to eat food, and Jodie Foster orders,
yeah.
and then Dennis Hopper goes, yeah, let me get a couple of hamburger patties, medium
Yeah,
well.
not even a burger.
and then he goes, let me get a couple of hamburger patties, medium rare. And then he looks at Jodie Foster and goes, I love Mexican food. Again, let me just say,
Yeah.
as a Mexican, that's not us. That's you. You're making
Dude.
shit up on the fly.
Wait.
Even
Before
is
they
that?
get to this restaurant, we should talk about this because in order to show that the mob is still following them, it shows them driving down the freeway, and there is a like Cessna following them about 20 feet
Right.
behind their Jeep
Yeah.
that
right,
they
yeah,
do
yeah.
not notice. It
Yeah.
is literally almost on touching the ground following this car on the freeway. And they're like, it's fine. Let's just go to this restaurant. And then it just cuts to them eating as the Cessna lands in the parking lot. It is insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then like they start having, because they're going to this cabin, they start having cutesy dialogue, and he eventually, because at one point she goes, "What's it like to murder someone?" And he goes,
Yeah.
"This is his answer." He goes, "You know, I never needed a big meal afterwards or anything." And she should have been like, "Thanks, that didn't help at all. I don't even know what the fuck that could mean."
He's also like, everything he
He's an
tells
artist.
her is so off-putting. Again, like, Robert Redford,
Yeah.
super charming. You believe it in that movie. In this movie, one of the first things he tells her, he's like, I haven't been with a woman for over 10 years without paying for it. It's like, oh, so
Yeah,
you're
he's
like an
I have
incel.
friends, but no girlfriends or whatever.
Great.
There's a scene-
I do it all
Yeah.
wrong. I do it all wrong.
In that scene, he goes, "I've had a lot of sex, but never been for love." And it's
This-
like,
Yeah.
this is creepy. Like,
He is Ed Gein.
Yeah.
It's like, no one could ever even enjoy being in the room with this man, but she is head over heels for him.
And also, like, the movie starts off in like all these like urban areas, and it's so weird and dreamy.
Yeah.
And like it still kind of remains like a little bit dreamy and weird, but it's like now we're just like an open desert, and like it's like kind of like what we've been like alluding to this whole time, where it's like the
Yeah.
plot hasn't started. It's like as soon as the plot starts, like we're no longer like really that dreamy anymore. Like
Yeah,
we're now
yeah.
kind of like in
It
like
com-
in an actual romantic buddy comedy kind of thing.
It takes immediate like change in tone. And also,
Yeah.
okay, so back at the hamburger place, one thing that we'll get to eventually is that she goes, "My life is bad, your life is bad." Like we're on, and he goes, "It's not your life anymore, it's not my life anymore. It's our life. We've only known each other for 2 days."
Yeah.
And so then let's go back. So then he kills one of the mobsters, and then it cuts to him eating a burrito. And remember, he said that he didn't get a big meal.
Yeah.
They have a big shootout at the restaurant,
Yeah.
and she comes
Yeah, they
back
run
for, like
up.
he thinks she's left him in their car,
Yeah.
but she comes back for she's already in love with him, and
Yeah.
then he's just wolfing
Yeah.
this burrito in the car as
Yeah.
they're driving,
And
I'm
they look at each other and they're like, I guess I did need a big meal. It's like, that's not that big of a burrito, guys. It's a very
Yeah,
normal
come
size
on.
burrito. Like, yeah.
it's pretty
But
big.
no, I had to rewatch, like we were texting earlier, and I was like, I'm rewatching this movie, but I had to rewatch like those scenes because I thought that I had missed some like critical moment where she had like fallen in love with him, because I was like texting a little bit earlier,
No.
like whatever, and so I was like rewatching, and I was like, okay, so like where is the transition to love? And it's literally just he kidnaps her, and she says, "Are you kidnapping me?" It's like, well, not exactly, and the next day they wake up and they've slept together, and it's fine, and they're in
And
love.
it's also the
Kind
thing
of.
where, and then also he's like, and this is why it keeps being creepy, because he keeps like, then he walks into her house, or no, then he like, so they get to this random cabin, and this is why I brought that earlier scene up, because he carries her in like they're newlyweds. Again, he's 1,000 years old, and this is the best Jodie Foster has ever looked. He carries her in, and she goes, "Oh, so this place is yours?" And I expected him to be like, "Oh, it's not mine, it's ours." But what he says instead is, "Yeah." And so the
What did you
rules
think
are a
it
little
was?
loose. Yeah. He goes, "I'm walking here." And
Yeah.
and but see,
Vampirically.
the reason it's not the love thing doesn't really come off is because then he like goes and he keeps buying, like there's a scene earlier which if she had a problem with that shower scene, she must have had a problem with this scene where he buys her lingerie
Oh,
and she's like,
yeah,
"You
yeah.
want me to put it on?" And she's
Yeah,
like,
but
putting it
even
on.
like she
Right
goes
here.
to like the other room, and he's like, "No, do it in front of me," and it's
Yeah.
like again
And you watch the whole thing.
weird incel
Yeah.
shit, you know?
It's like
Yeah.
in True Lies, they have the scene where Arnold's watching his
Oh, yeah,
wife
yeah,
strip
yeah.
for him. But that movie, like if you watch the way that movie's presented, like Arnold's a little bit ashamed. He's kind of like he doesn't feel great about it, but he is turned on because it's his
Yeah.
wife. So there is like all those emotions. In this one, he's just a creepazoid, and that's
Yeah.
like he keeps buying her clothes. Like there's a scene later after they've made love, and he comes in and she's like, "I thought you were gonna buy me." Jeans, and because he bought her another dress, and then he like goes down and he like finds some jeans, he throws them at her, and it's like she shouldn't rely on you to get clothes. That's a hostage situation. That should not be a lover's situation. You're still in hostage mode.
This is such a this is funny too, just because like this is after they've had the shootout with the mom.
Yeah.
And she's like, what are we gonna do? The mom clearly knows where you are. And he's like, I don't know, we'll go to New Zealand. And it's so funny because William, Andrew, I know you haven't, you're not a gamer, but William, I don't know if you played Red Dead Redemption 2. But near the end, when
I didn't finish it. No, I don't know what you're talking about.
When things are going really bad, the leader of the gang keeps going like, "We'll just go to Tahiti, and it'll all work out." And it's such a like, this is like you've run out of any ideas. But Dennis Hopper's like, "Yeah, New Zealand, so let's just do it."
And this is culture. I need life. There's so much culture in New Zealand.
And then they start
that's the
fighting.
weird thing, because she goes, well, I can't just be out in the middle of nowhere. Like, I need culture. I need galleries. I'm an artist. And first of all, it's like, Dennis Hopper, did you think she was going to be a weirdo recluse for the rest of her life? But then it diverges into Dennis Hopper being like, you're not an artist, girl. You're a piece of shit. Real
Let me tell you what artist.
But he fell in love with her because of her arts. Like, it makes no sense.
It's weird. It's such a weird scene that sticks out because it's like, do you like this girl at all? Because it kind of sounds like you hate her. You're just sexually attracted. You know what? If Dennis Reynolds had written this script, it would make a lot more sense because it seems like he really loves the way Jodie Foster looks and he hates all women. And so it's very like...
Yeah.
So then they decide, like, okay, well, we got to do something. Let's go kill the guys, I guess.
No. Then this is when they're like, wait a second. Do you hear like 50 cars coming up?
Yeah, I know. Do you hear a helicopter by any chance?
Because she's like, hey, does the mom know about this? He's like, well, the mom did give me this cabin.
Hell yeah!
Like, it was a gift.
I forgot Joe Pesci gifted this to me.
See, if you
should have thought of that earlier.
Like, I feel like this movie thinks that he's like a Scarface type mobster, but I think he actually plays it more like a Tony B or that guy in Goodfellas who buys the car like the day after they do the big robbery.
Yes,
because his brain doesn't work in any way.
It's so dumb. Every plot twist is so dumb.
And then also Vincent Price is in the helicopter and he's like, "We have helicopters. We're the mob." And so then they go back to the opening warehouse?
No. Then they have a shootout. They steal the helicopter. There's a brief helicopter chase that
just they're going in like ravines and like all.
It's one of those where it's like, oh man, they actually had to film this for no reason because then the second helicopter just flies into a mountain. It doesn't matter. And then
they're being piloted by mob guys. They don't know how to fucking.
That's true. They don't know how to fly. And then they're like, oh, we know where to end this at the industrial factor, refinery where this movie started, basically.
They very clearly said, we got Joe Pesci for 2 locations, his office and this industrial park. That's where the movie's ending, guys.
And also, we're out of money, so if you think half these plot lines will be resolved, no, we're just cutting to the warehouse.
There is, and there's so they're at the warehouse, and this is we'll talk about in a second. And Dennis Hopper's wearing a flame retardant suit.
The space suit. Yes.
And they come out and they're like walking, and he's like, "Hey guys, you're surrounded by electric nitrogen, something combustible, and I'll shoot you. And I got this suit on, so I won't get hurt." It's like you've littered the whole floor of this giant factory with gasoline. You're not gonna make it, buddy. We're all gonna die. And so then they're talking, and one of the guys, I think Dean Stockwell, goes to shoot Dennis Hopper, and Jodie Foster shoots him with a gun. And then Dennis Hopper's like, "Hey, that's not the guy you shoot. That guy's cool. That's Rick, my buddy." And I'm like, I don't understand any of the plot lines.
None of this,
that's PBR tracks. Guy or whatever. That's Blue Velvet Man.
Yeah, and so then, they're like, Joe Pesci, or no, he tells Paulie Wanda, like, you can go away. But then the fire still goes off. How does the explosion happen?
They do something. They shoot something, or like there's a
They
grenade.
shoot.
Maybe
They like ignite something. I don't remember because at this point.
No. There's
like,
a tripwire. There's a tripwire.
There's,
Yeah, that's
that's
right.
right.
Yes,
They're running.
they set a bunch of
And he
traps.
runs to the tripwire.
Yes.
Yeah.
And again, my favorite part. I know every scene has been my favorite part, but they're all my favorite part. And so they're running, and then they hit the tripwire, and they're running in slow motion, and they're like pictures now. And then the fire just like engulfs them. Like they had the fire animation, and they did not have Joe Pesci, and he was not coming back. And so they just have like a stick figure of him as the fire just kind of goes over it, and then it just kind of fades away into like they lower the occupancy so no one can see it. And that's how the main villain of this movie is killed. And then the cops arrest everyone else except for Vincent Price, who gets away on his helicopter because we need to find Catchfire 2.
It works.
Backtrack.
Out,
Please.
yeah.
Catchfire 2 Backtrack.
If they made a sequel to this, they should call it the other one, like either Catchfire or Backtrack. And then
and then change the title halfway through. Yeah.
So then the movie ends. And we're very far in spoiler. The movie ends, and the whole credit sequence. Well, half of the credit sequence for like 4 minutes is just them coming out of a tunnel that they were in and getting out of their flame retardant clothes for so long. It's like 3 minutes straight.
We should
and
say,
then you're like,
cuts.
"Oh, the movie's over." But no, because then from that, after 4 minutes, then we just watch Jodie Foster and Dennis Hopper on some kind of boat in the middle of like another industrial park.
They're on a boat in a river somewhere.
It looks like Portland because it's all like warehouses and buildings in the background. But she's in like tropical outfits.
She looks as beautiful as ever. He saxophones into frame in Caribbean gear and his sax.
And his
going
hat.
hard on that sax.
Dude,
yes.
And
that's the movie.
Also, like, so I watched this movie and I could not, like, I think the director's cut is on nothing. Like, you have to buy the DVD, which, I mean, no, not going to happen. So I went to Wikipedia and on there it says, here's what happens in the director's cut that's the difference. And it's literally just what happens in the normal cut. I don't think anyone has ever seen either of the movies. I think we're the only ones who've seen either the director's cut or the regular cut.
Yeah.
And because like even Wikipedia seems like, I don't know, and then maybe they get away, who knows?
Well, how long was the one that y'all watched? How long was the running time?
The director's cut is...
Mine was 96 minutes. Was the
mine was 90-ish minutes.
The director's cut is almost 2 hours, so there is.
Okay.
Yeah, that's because I was looking up. I was like, "What's the difference?" And they're like, "Oh, Charlie Sheen is in it way more." And I'm like, "He's in less than 5 minutes of this."
How long could that have been? Oh my god!
And also, why do we want Charlie Sheen to be?
And also, apparently, there's way more saxophone. In the director's cut, like there's multiple more sax scenes.
What if the
precursor to Lost Highway? I will say, oh my god,
damn! What if director's cut?
Hello.
It's just him playing saxophone for 18 more minutes, and he's just like the whole time.
Did you have Lost Highway?
Right
oh
in the
It'd be amazing.
I know. Do you think that this is the one that was like David Lynch was watching? He's like, get Hopper on the phone. I know exactly who's
Dude, I think this movie was like weirdly influential to everything. Like this movie was like weird as hell, but like having gone through the 90s as a person and like rewatching all the films, like this movie kind of rocks. I love this movie.
It even feels like, and it's so funny that, and maybe this is why, and we'll talk. I'm actually going to do a deep dive on this movie. But one of the reasons that Jodie Foster didn't return for Hannibal was because in the book Hannibal and Clarice Starling, who's Jodie Foster's character, they fall in love, and she kind of like she gets kidnapped by Hannibal, and she slowly falls in love with him, and that's the end of the book. And Jodie Foster said that it would be a betrayal of her character for her to do that in a sequel. And they eventually do change. Like, if you watch the movie, that's not what happens in the movie. But I wonder how much of it was like she remembers this movie. She's like, nah, it's not going to work, guys. It's going to be real creepy.
She doesn't do Hannibal or New Mexico. Those are the two things she will never do again.
She's done with those two places, So this is a movie that shows that Dennis Hopper is horny for Jodie Foster.
Yeah.
He's very horny for New Mexico and burritos in general. And he doesn't know.
And he mentions Chicago as well. He does a Chicago shout out.
Oh, that's right. And he really loves hamburger steaks, which is something that only my dad.
It's almost like it's so weird because it's almost like outsider art, this movie, like where you're like,
Yeah.
oh, someone who's never heard of movies made this. But Dennis Hopper had both written, directed, and starred in several movies at this point,
Some
and
big
it's
ones.
filled with like
Some major
incredible
films.
A-listers. Some of the best actors of all time are in this. It's crazy,
Right.
you know.
Yeah.
Like it's just like, how did all this come together? Like it's it's fascinating. Anyone should watch this.
And it feels like Twin Peaks. It feels like like there are so many scenes where like the vibe of Twin Peaks is exactly this movie.
Right.
It's just
I'm not sure.
off.
I think yeah, dude. I honestly think that Lynch was like, I'm gonna switch my shit up and I'm gonna do kind of what Hopper was up to. I don't know, because they were friends.
Yeah.
They did Blue Velvet before this, and then Stockwell was in it. Like, I don't know. It seems like Laura Dern. No, Laura Dern's not in it. That's a different movie. But like, you know, it's just like
and see, that's kind of the cool thing is like I would much rather watch a million Catchfires than one of those like Ryan Reynolds, this is my passion project, but it's really just the Adam Project movie, you know?
Right, like a Netflix
this movie was great. This could only be made by an actor who had a bunch of rich friends and cool friends, and someone to fund them. Like no one else could have ever made this movie.
If you told me, like, there's no way this script wasn't written with Dennis Hopper and a mountain of cocaine. Because like it's like, oh, and then they'll go to Seattle and she'll have a job, but then she messes up and so she has to go to Santa Fe. Or actually, she stops in Taos and then she tells someone, the guy's like, fuck that girl. And it's like, okay, man, calm down. We'll give you the money. Just
but it even like the ending almost has that like if you've ever worked on like an indie movie where you're like, oh, they're out of money. How do we end this? Like that's like the last 10 minutes of this where you're like, wrap it up, guys. We have 2 days of shooting left.
Like I'll tell you what. Ending.
This movie is very cool, but what would have been even cooler is watching Dennis Hopper pitch this movie to Dick Clark and hearing what Dick Clark's responses were.
Yes,
like he had to do it when they were on 4 of the New Year's, and Dick Clark had to make an answer, and he just said yes, just so they could get to 3 and 2.
Yeah.
Because there's no way that Dick Clark was like, "That's the kind of movie I want to see."
Yeah,
it's just such a weird.
It was a good coke night for those two.
I don't know. I would say check this out. I think some of the fun is watching the cameos, but I think even without I will say it looks very cool, especially the first half where everyone's really trying.
Dude, the first half, like when they're in the city, it's like
I would have rather
toys. That movie Toys.
There,
it was like, oh my god, it was so liminal and weird. Like,
every scene has like every light is
so angular. Yes, dude.
It's
light angles and also buildings.
It's almost weird. Like the moment the actual plot of like Jodie Foster being in love with him starts, like all of that goes away, and you're almost like, what? Again, it just felt like he had these great actors for this many shooting days, and like used them the best he could. It's fascinating. Like you literally, a movie like this could not happen today, and that's like almost a reason to watch it.
Right?
And it's
when people say it's like, no,
forever.
this is
yeah.
It's kind of like and this movie could be made today. It would be called Hurry Up Tomorrow, Haters. But so next week, guys. Oh, go ahead.
Well, what was that movie that what is his name? Did Chris Pine make a movie about like a pool boy? Is that kind of like what this would be?
It's
like
called Pool Man.
I haven't seen it. Like,
no, I've seen that movie,
or
I don't think anyone
like
has
a weird
seen that movie.
I have seen it. I watched that movie about 2 months ago.
Like an actor getting money to do a movie like this.
I can kind of see it because it's as actor brained as this. Like it's like a similar like a Bradley Cooper's Maestro, where you're like, oh, clearly no one told him no. You know, where you're like, this is just weird. You know?
And I think you did hit it because I remember afterwards Chris Pine would be like, no, it's good actually. You guys can't hate it. And
it is fascinating because it like jumps genres like 4 times and it doesn't really like make sense or work. I kind of see it.
Yeah.
This is more interesting.
I'm gonna watch.
I wonder maybe. Yeah. I feel like it might be Pool Man, might be Under the Silver Lake.
Keep your expectations moderate.
Because I know it wasn't in the script for Joe Pesci to kill that guy he killed, and I know that it was something Pesci had been thinking about for a while. And he was like, "Hey, I'm gonna do this." That's a very actor thing to be like, oh, I've thought about this forever and I want to do it on this one. And Dennis Hopper's like, yeah, man, let's do it.
Right.
I feel like
dude.
if you've watched Apocalypse Now, that's how I assume Dennis Hopper was directing this.
Always.
No,
movie.
if you watch if you watched if you watched Hearts of Darkness, where Dennis Hopper is like Dennis Hopper is saying like, oh, you gotta, to Coppola, he's like, you gotta forget your lines to be a real actor, and Coppola's telling him, well, you have to learn your lines before you forget them. That's this whole movie. You know?
If you want to see the mind that came up with this, watch Hearts of Darkness, because like there's a part where Dennis Hopper's explaining this huge backstory to Coppola, and it's almost a completely separate movie, and he's trying to get Coppola to film it. And Coppola's like, he's not even pretending to like consider the idea.
He's like
no.
He's doing that like the nodding you do at a customer service job where you just want someone to stop talking.
Yeah.
I feel like Coppola, I think Coppola enjoyed the heart attack more than he enjoyed working with Dennis Hopper on that film, according to that documentary, because he only did one again. But yeah, so check out this movie. It's a lot of fun. And guys, next week we start Halloween, so join us for that. Find out what our theme is. We always have a theme.
Spooky films.
But figure it out, and we'll see you guys next time
on Halloween.
On the Bomb Squad. Not on, well, October.
Yeah.
October time.
Season. Love you.
Bye.